So that big report that I have to do with all the pictures and diagrams, that's due ASAP. I think I'm just going to take a Wysiwyg editor and crank it out. Wysiwyg. Capital W, capital Y, capital S, capital I, capital W, capital Y, capital G. Wysiwyg. What a strange sounding word. Well, it's actually an acronym, and it stands for what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. And it's a very common English phrase, but it has a specific meaning when it comes to engineering, and more broadly, actually, when it comes to design. It actually probably relates to graphic design more, but some engineers might use it, specifically software engineers or any engineers who are preparing some kind of document for publication, maybe working with their marketing department to prepare a white paper, or working with their professors and colleagues to publish some kind of journal, or creating a website to talk about their information, or a blog to talk about their work. So anyone who uses a piece of software to produce a document might use a Wysiwyg editor or a Wysiwyg piece of software to do it. For example, they might use Microsoft Word, which is a Wysiwyg editor. And it's a Wysiwyg editor because what you see on the computer screen when you're typing everything out and laying everything out, well, what you see is supposed to be what you get on the printed paper. It's supposed to be what you get when you show someone else the document. And that's pretty convenient. I mean, you might not realize it, but not every piece of software is like that. I actually had another episode a little while ago about a piece of software called LaTeX, which a lot of engineers might use to publish different kinds of journal articles or other books. And what you see when you're using LaTeX is a bunch of code. You type a whole bunch of text and special tags and special directions, and you give all that computer code and information to the computer, and the computer processes it, and it spits out a new document, so that what you finally see is totally different from what you see when you're first creating the document. For LaTeX, what you see when you're creating the document is not what you get in the end, what the user sees in the end. So those are the two different types of editing software. And Wysiwyg software, what you see is what you get, is more like Microsoft Word. And it takes a lot of work to create Wysiwyg software because, you have to make sure that whatever you see on that screen really will be what someone will see not only on the page, but maybe on different web browsers, on Google Chrome, on Firefox, on IE. So it's hard to make Wysiwyg editors sometimes. And creating Wysiwyg editors for web pages, for example, is a big challenge because what you see on your screen might not be what other people see on other screens. It might just be really difficult to render all the different screens all at once on your screen. So instead, for engineers, you probably won't be using Wysiwyg editors when you want to be really, really detailed and careful about what other people see. But today, if you use a Wysiwyg editor as an engineer, it's probably just to do things faster. You just have to drag and drop stuff on the screen, and more or less it'll look like that when you give it to other people. Wysiwyg is our engineering word of the day. It sounds really weird, but it's real. Thanks for listening to another episode of Engineering Word of the Day, where we talk about all the jargon that we love and hate in engineering. I am Pius, your host and engineer. I also want to point you to another podcast called the K-12 Engineering Education Podcast. And if you go to k12engineering.net, you can learn all about it.